Hello and welcome to BISP Solution. Today's webinar is about Fusion Financial implementation, in which we will do GL related transaction process with the use cases of BISP group. Let's move to the today's agenda. Cross validation rules setup and process. Then we do the ledger setup and process. Reevaluation of setup and process. And if the time permits, we will do the consolidation ledger setup and process with the use case of BISP group. Right, so let's discuss about the cross validation rules in GeneralLedger. So you can use the cross validation rule to determine the valid account combination that can be dynamically created as user enters the transaction or journal entries. Once enabled, the cross validation rules determines whether a selected value for a particular segment of an account combination can be combined with specific value in other segment to form a new account combination. The best practice is to define and enable the cross validation rules before accounting combination can be created. Transaction or journal entries are imported or entered and balance are loaded. For example, our use case of BISP group, you can define the cross validation rule such as that if the natural account is revenue, then validate the cross center isn't a non-billable consultant. A new account combination has to satisfy all the cross validation rule enabled for the chart of accounts before they can be created. So you can see if the revenue account is consultancy or joint JV consultancy, a joint venture consultancy, then the cost center should be billable consultant. Out here, the revenue you can see as consultancy. BISP I've got revenue from consultancy, training, webinar, blog, joint venture consultancy, and corporate training. So these are the parent groups, and subgroups are in the consultancy. You got a third party consultancy, there is internal consultancy, and in the training there is a domestic training and non-domestic training. In webinar there is YouTube webinar revenue, Instagram webinar revenue, there is blog which is ERP blog revenue, the ERP EPM blog revenue, there is a technical blog revenue, and in the joint venture consultancy, the third party joint venture consultancy revenue, there is internal joint venture consultancy revenue, and corporate training, there is a local corporate training revenue and the external corporate revenue. Right, so these are the child values of all the parent values related to revenue, which are the main group, parent group is revenue, right? So that is the revenue they earn from these activities. And as per client, they want to have, whenever the consultancy or joint venture consultancy is selected, the code is selected, an account is selected, it should be billable consultant. And apart from that, other training, webinar, blogs, and corporate training should be as non-billable consultant, right? So these are the conditions how to fulfill that particular in the application. Let us navigate to the application and see how we can create cross validation rule with spreadsheet, right? So we will create cross validation rule using spreadsheet, that is ADFDI sheet. So let us navigate to the application. So I am logging with the user. Let us navigate to others. Sorry, in the others, setup and maintenance. So financial is selected scope. In the financial selected scope, I will select cross validation, right? So cross validation. So there is manage cross validation rule. We will create cross validation rule using spreadsheet, right? So let's download that particular spreadsheet. Here we are, cross validation rule in spreadsheet in general ledger functional area. Select that. And download the same. Go to show all. Show folder. I'm right clicking since I am using so I will unblock that, apply and OK. Open the sheet. There we are. You are about to connect with the following application URL. So that is my instance. I say yes. I will provide the user credentials. Create cross validation rules. So you can see the ledger. So let us select first, go to the application so that you can better understand how we can create the cross validation rule using the spread direct from the spreadsheet as well as in the application also. So cross validation, manage cross validation rules. So you can see the manage cross validation rule. Out here you will search for the calendar, your chart of accounts, that is BISP global. Search with that. Is there any rules has been created? So since there is no rule is created, let us create the rules in the application also. So you can see the name and description, right? Similarly, you will find out here the name and the description, the error message. So the error message will be out here, and the condition filter segment, condition filter value you have to provide. Then there is a second condition filter segment and the validation of that particular value, right? So we will create the same through spreadsheet. Let us create the same. First of all, we will select our chart of accounts. Let me select the chart of accounts, that is BISP global, and out here I will provide the name as let me provide as CRV01, right? So same out here, CRV, and the description it will populate from here, right? So let us provide the description. Say consultancy charges, let us say CONSULTANCY, consultancy revenue account then CC should be billable. That is the requirement of the client, right? So that is the requirement of the client. So billable consultant, it will be a billable consultant, right? So that is the requirement of the client. So error message, what will be the error message? Then I would say select the correct cost center account, right? So that is my error message, and the first segment filter, right? So that filter will be this one, right? So this one is the first filter. So let us go to the filter. I will select the first is account, and the second filter is out here, that second validate filter, right? So the validation filter, that first is the condition filter and then there is the validation filter. Similarly, you can see the condition filter and validation filter. So I will select cost center. Let us select the cost center, right? So let us first, we will open the rapid implementation sheet, as I have loaded the chart of account through using the rapid implementation sheet. So let's open that. Yes. So the condition is, if I use account code 40110 and 4011, then, and also the 40051 and 40052, then it should select 301 billable consultant and 302 as billable support consultant, or billable 303 as billable consultant others, right? So that is the condition, that the total billable consultant they have, right? So that you can provide, and other from that it will be a non-billable. So training, other things will be non-billable, right? So let us create that particular in the sheet. So let us navigate to the condition. I will write 401102 40110. Let me check it out. That is 4011, right? That is the 111. It should be a 111, right? And then comma. Apart from that, 40051 and 40052, right? So that is the my second condition. That is the 40051 is the third party joint venture consultancy revenue, and 40052 is internal joint venture consultancy revenue. Any revenue is coming, then it will be a billable consultant, right? So let us select the cost center validation. That validation will be 301 to 303. So 303, that is my cost center, 301 and 303, right? So that is the condition I am putting. I am putting one of the conditions that you can create multiple. You can create multiple validation, cross validation rules as per the requirement of the client. The client has given their requirement that when you are selecting these codes, it should pick only certain codes, that is 301 and 303, the cost center, that are billable consultant, right? So, and you can create other consultant. I am creating one of them, and so that you can better understand that. So let us go to the create validation. Let's log out from that screen. I have already out there. Let's close that and cancel that. Continue, yes, right? So let us now submit the process. Yes, submit that. On failure, the continue to upload subsequent rows. If you have a multiple CVR rules you want to create, then as per the client requirement, you can create multiple. If any rule fails, then it will continue to upload then another rule. So that I check mark that, and download all the rules after the successful uploading. I don't require that. So okay. So row has been successfully inserted. Now let's check it out in the application. Manage cross validation. Select our chart of accounts and search the same. So just scroll down. Yes, two conditions has been created. The condition that we want to create, right? So that is the error message it will throw. Select the correct cost center, right? So let us navigate to the journal work area. So to test that our cross validation rule, right? So save that, say done. From navigator, let us navigate to the general ledger, accounting dashboard. I got the data access set, that is BISP group, that is data access set, right? So create journals. From the task panel, select the create journals, and I would say let us provide say test CRV. Say let's say test CRV 100. I would say test CRV 100 as the batch, and provide the description. I will provide April as the accounting date. Say right, so that is the date, and I will put the journal date same, and I will select the US ledger. Just hold on. Yes, my ledger is US ledger, and the currency is USD, right? So that is the USD, and the category is BISP adjustment, and I will quickly select that particular code combination. So my condition is that 201 is my company if my account is 40110. That is third party consultancy revenue. As you can see in the rapid implementation, that is third party consultancy revenue, and I select cost center as, say I want to select the cost center as say support marketing, right? So select that and say OK. So you can see in the background there is this combination is invalid. Select the correct cost center account, right? So that is the cross validation rule. It immediately stops the user from using invalid code combination. So right, so that is the basic reason to create. If I say 00, even if I say 00, so it will throw this error. If I select 301 and say OK, so you can enter the value, right? So that is how we can create the cross validation rule and how it can validate your accounting code combination while the user enters the value in the application, right? So that is all about the cross validation rules, and you can segment validations. You can do the segment validation. So type of control values you can enter as particular segment or cross validation value validation that controls the combination of values that administrate and the end user. The end user can create a key flex field, right? So that is the cross validation rules. So let us move to the next topic, that is, let us close that. Let me close that. Let me create a one journal with that value. right? So I would say 301. You can put cross validation as desired, right? So let us put that available project, right? So and then save the scene. Complete. Post. To manage journals, you can review the journal. Search with that. Test CVR, AVR. It get posted now, right? So let's move to the next topic. So revaluation setup and process. Let's see that revaluation setup and process behind that. So what is revaluation? The revaluation process is used to adjust the account balances denoted in the foreign currency. Revaluation adjustment represents the difference in an account balance due to change in the conversion rate between the dates of the original journal and the revaluation date. Or you can say a revaluation is a process to revalue the GL balances that transaction denominates in the foreign currency. It reflects the change in the conversion rate between the dates of the transaction and the current market price of each currency, right? So what are the steps behind the revaluation? So first we will set up the daily rates. You have to update the daily rates and create the foreign currency balance journal. Verify the foreign currency currency balances. Then we will create revaluation template and run the revaluation, and we will check it out with the revaluation journal, right? So it will create, system will create a revaluation journal. So as use case, the client has provided me the daily rates. So let me open the daily rates and update the daily rates in the application. So let us first navigate. You can navigate from here, from general. So period close. You can go to the period close, and even if you can go to setup and action and setup and maintenance, selecting the financial as the scope. Out there you will search as daily rates, right? So you can find out there also, and here we are, the manage currency rates. Select that. Here we are. So we have created a BISP corporate as a rate type, and I want to have a daily rates which has been provided by the client. So that is USD to INR, right? So that is USD to INR. Let me check with that. USD to INR, say a period, I would say 1st of July, right? So 1st of 7/1/23 to today's date is 7/14/23, right? and the rate type is corporate, right? So select that corporate rate and search the same. Yeah, there is no rate. Let us download the spreadsheet and upload the rates from this July, right? So client has provided that rates. So let's download the sheet, create daily rates, save the same. Show the folder. Unblock that. Say OK. Open the daily rates. Put your credentials. Here we are. That is USD to INR, and my conversion rate type will be BISP corporate from date to date. So let me select the file which client has provided, the business user had provided. So this is the exchange rate. So let me select the period. So they have provided me the period. I'll select that. The July I will select. Say OK. Here we are. This is the date they have provided. So from date, I will select that, copy, special value, select that, and I will select the same, copy and paste the same value all, and the conversion rate is this one, right? So select that, copy, paste the same, say all, right? So copy, this is the, I think so, Indian rupees, that INR, it should be INR to USD. I selected the wrong one, delete, INR to USD, right? So that is the rate it will be, that is rate is this one. Inverse rate it will automatically calculate on the based on that, right? So that is the inverse rate. Let me upload the same. You can see the action type is insert, right? So insert and delete, two actions are there, right? So insert, I want to insert that, and create daily rates, submit the same. Okay, say okay. Row inserted successfully. Say okay. Right, so I will create a journal with the 3rd July, and I will revalue the journal on 13th, right? So that is the rate we have given. So how the system will calculate, you will be better understand that particular part, right? So that rate will pick that is 91.94 as 91.94 as the conversion rate, and similarly it will revalue on 13th on the base on that my criteria. It will revalue that value, that is 82.04. So let us navigate to the application. Here we are, and search the same. Here we are. So USD to INR, INR to USD, you can search with that. INR to USD, search with that, right? So that is the rate. Let us navigate to the general ledger accounting. We'll create a journal. Yes. Let us create a journal with a foreign currency, right? So I will use the USD, US ledger. Let me create journal, and it will be revalue JRL, right? So that is the, I'm selecting the batch. So batch, I'll select the July 23rd, that is my open period, and I will select that, and description, and out here I got the access towards as I am using the BISP GL group data access. I will enter this group, enter in BISP US ledger, right? So I will select that and select the date. As per our case, I will select the 3rd July, and I will select the currency as INR, and I will select BISP corporate rate, right? So I will select the BISP corporate rate. Just hold on. Some issues are there. Just hold on. Just hold on. Just hold on. Okay. I want to delete that. Delete the rates. Right. Submit the same. Okay. it get deleted. Okay, that is just hold on. We'll stick to INR. Should be like that. That I am doing. We'll select that as insert. New. Submit the same. Okay, let me select. So this is the rate, right? So I will select the code combination. Let's select the any expenses. Let us select any one of the combination. Just hold on. Search with that. Not third party journal. I would use okay. We'll take the same. Okay, and as we have entered the cross validation rule, we will use this enforced. I say okay, and the entered amount I would say that is in INR, so accounted amount will be there. That is on 3rd July. As a revenue from shared JV. Can see, and I will select any of the account, say 0, and I will select as cash or say 301, right? So select that, okay, and I will put the credit side also 1 lakh, check, right? So just putting in a one entry out here, or say you can put a shared revenue. So you can put a shared revenue. It's better to use a shared revenue. I would say 21095. Let's say okay. Right, so selecting that and save that. So we have entered in foreign currency in US ledger, BISP US ledger, and complete that and post that. Right, so to manage journals, pull your journal, and July, search with that. So revalue journal, here we are. The journal entered value in INR and accounted in USD, right? So that is on 3rd of July, right? So basically the revaluation is done to the value shown in a particular date or foreign currency journals when you entered, that is revalued, right? So that is the revaluation, and let us create template for that, for revaluation template, right? So we have to create a revaluation template. So let us navigate to general accounting dashboard. Here we are. So revaluation balances. We will create our revaluation template out here. Select, provide any suitable name. I will provide as BISP VALUA revaluation. Revalue INR, right? Revalue INR. Same I will provide here. And select the chart of accounts. This is the chart of accounts, and the currency. The entered currency, we had to enter currency out here. Currency is INR. Select the INR. If you want to have a multiple currency, you can skip that, right? So whatever the currency apart from the functional currency is there, then it will automatically pick that, and for that any currency you should have a daily rate should be updated, right? So it will take daily rates. So since we are doing with the INR Indian rupees, so I am selecting as a Indian rupees out here, and conversion rate type I will select as BISP corporate, and provide the realized gain and unrealized gain account and unrealized loss account, right? So let us select that. And let us select search with gain, anything gain, right? Gain. Search with that. That is my realized gain, I am selecting the same. Say OK, and out here I will select 201 as my BISP Miami, and 062 is, I think so, loss. Yes, realized lost. And I will select the YTD balance, right? So that is the YTD balance I will select. So let us duplicate the same. I will select the YTD balance and post the same, right? So if you go and general accounting dashboard, inquiry detail balances, let me select as July 23 and the period is July 23, and the currency, entered currency is this, and the account code we have entered as, I think so, we have entered in 40, right? So this is the search. So you can see, just hold on, entered currency July 23. Oh, July 23, July 23, just July 23, select the same, July 1 July, just hold on, currency is INR, search with that as an entered currency, right? So this is the code, this is the actual. Let me select the actual and company. Let me search. Why it is not showing up? USD ledger. Yeah, I have selected the USD ledger. Total one. Why it is not showing up? It's not a total one. It should be entered, right? So why the balances are not showing up? Some issues with that. Actual. Select the company. I'm selecting company. Select the cost center, selecting the cost center, the account, the party JV, yes, we are entered on that, and the line of business. Just hold on. None. I selected the resources as all and intercompany. Search the same. ideally show this thing. Just not showing up. Let me check with the journal. I think there's some issue with the date I am putting that. Just hold on. July 23rd, and so July 23rd, right? So July 23rd, and my entered currency is this one, right? So I'm putting 000 is my account, right? So why it is not showing up? It's too long. Let us go to the general accounting dashboard again. Inquiry. July 23. Here we are. Same out here. Right, so select as INR. Select the entered currency, other things I think so. See, why it is not showing? I don't. It should actually show. Yeah, allocated. Scenario allocated. It should not be allocated. It should be actual. Right? Actual. Search with. Search with our code combination, that is 201. Say OK. Say cost center. Okay, I have selected the cost center is different, that right? So that is why it is not showing off. It should be search. So our cost center is 301, right? So that is why it is not showing off. Now we can search that. Here we are. Right, so same journal, right? So let us reevaluate that, and out here I will select that YTD balance. This ending balance, right? So I will select this ending balance. So I will select that and post automatically. and select the revaluation account. So which account you want to revaluate, so you can put the range of the revaluation account. I will put a one single account, that is 40051, right? So search with that, say OK, right? I have put the one revaluation account and save that. That is BISP revaluation INR, right? So that condition I have put, and I will generate the revaluation. Now it is asking for your ledger, that is US ledger, and the revaluation template. This is the template we have used, and the period, right? So that is, the period is July, and the accounting date I would select as 13th, right? So that is the last we have given the rates, and that is yesterday rates, and the rate will be the yesterday rate, right? So that is the revaluation, it will done on that rate we have uploaded, right? So that is the condition, and submit the same. Say OK. Let us navigate to the schedule process. Under tools, schedule process. So revaluation is succeeded. So if you go out there, and there we are, text, so you can open that. Yeah, the revaluation has been created, revaluation account has been created. So let us see the journal. Cancel that. Go to the manage journal areas. Let us navigate to the general accounting dashboard. Manage journals, search with that. So you can see the revaluation, right? Select that, open that. So this is the revaluation journal has been created. The entered currency is 00, but there is a fluctuation in the USD. Accordingly, the entry passed on USD, right? So 1.49 and 1.49. Taking the inverse rate, this is the rate, right? So this way we will create the revaluation, and how we can do the revaluation. So revaluation, usually you will use that through subledger. That is when you are doing the billing in the foreign currency, also transaction doing in the foreign currency, or you are receiving the invoice in the foreign currency. Through subledger, you revaluate in general ledger. So it's a revaluation entry, creates the value as on that particular date in which you want to revaluate, right? So that is how the revaluation, that is the one of the demo which I have provided, right? So that is the revaluation. Now let us move to the next topic, ledger set, right? So the next topic is about the ledger set. So let us, in the previous session in day 3, we created a ledger set right? So let me navigate first to setup and maintenance. Close down the general ledger. So primary ledger, so BISP, so ledger set. We are done with that, and as in the group you can see that as an enterprise structure in the BISP group, BISP solution, we will create a one BISP INR reporting ledger, right? And we will consolidate that ledger by grouping that ledger, right? So let us create the reporting ledger in the application. So this is the two ledger, that is BISP IN ledger and BISP US ledger, and they sharing the same chart of accounts and same calendar, right? So that is why I will create a one reporting ledger in US, that is in the US. You can see in the US legal entity I will create the reporting ledger in INR, right? So that is I will create in the application now and consolidate the same in the ledger set, right? So that, and give the data access to the one of the user. So let us create a reporting ledger. That is reporting currency. Select as scope as BISP US. Select that. Add. So my requirement is BISP INR PORTI reporting, right? Create that. I will use as journal. If I use the balance, then it will translation. You will translation process. If you run the translation process, the balances will be translated to the consolidate ledger. Then you have to create the consolidation ledger. In that particular consolidation ledger, you have to group that particular translation ledger out there. So the requirement of the client is to create reporting ledger so that he can have a real-time view of the balances in the enterprise, right? So what are the balances in the accounts in the real-time scenario, right? So that is why, that is the requirement. So BISP INR reporting ledger, and the journals, as the journal I selected, and it will be reported in the currency is in INR, right? So entered currency, revaluation on entered currency, and default rate I would select as corporate rate, right? So I am selecting the corporate rate out here, and you can select the BISP corporate rate also, and other things are okay. And the source of journal, as soon as the journal is created in the US ledger, it will create another sub ledger, that is using the sub ledger it will create a reporting currency out there, right? So let us save the same, save and close. Right, so that is my currency is USD, my target is INR. Save and close. And I will create one journal. I'll create one journal in the application. Let us create one journal. Create journal. So say test journal. Test journal 55. I'm doing the same out here. My USD, my US ledger, BISP US. I'm entering in the functional currency itself, and I will put some expenses account out here, 201. I will select any of the account, say let us take a stock, right? Select the stock, investment on stock, and I selected that 10,000 USD, invest in stock, right? So, and I will put credit line. So credit line will be, say, Citibank. I issued a check. See, issued, right? So I put that single one line to test that. Save the same, complete, post. Cancel. Through manage journals, search with that. Just hold on, it's posting, still running. You can view the process through schedule process. Okay, so we had not opened the period in reporting ledger. So we have created the reporting ledger. We have not opened the period. So we have to get the data access for that. So if you see the data set already created, if you, that is data set, manage data sets. Hold on. Manage data. There we are. If Okay, I'll select the BISP. The system already created a one reporting ledger, right? So that is the BISP we have created, the reporting ledger, right? So that is system automatically created a BISP INR reporting ledger, right? So that is the, I will provide the ledger data access set to that, the user, that is this user. So data access for users, select that, manage data access for users. Provide the access, say username and the role I will select as BISP General Accounting Manager, and the data access set I will select BISP Reporting INR. Save the same. Done. Then we have to run the LDAP job. So select that, go to tools and schedule process. Schedule new process. LDAP. Retrieve latest and synchronize the roles, users roles, and grant permissions and definition to lightweight directory access protocol. Will take a bit of time. Let us refresh the same. Let's log out and log in again. Let us navigate to General Accounting Workbench. Go to the period close. Change the data access set. Let me check it out. There we are. Reporting ledger. Say OK. Open the period. So okay, first period will get opened as per calendar. April 2020 is the first open period. In action, open the target period, that is my July 23rd. Open the same. Yeah. It's getting open. Wait for a few minutes. Yeah, it's open. Last open period is there. Done. change our data access set now. Say OK. And go to our journals that we have entered out there. General accounting dashboard. To manage journals, search the journal, and now we will post the scene. So the accounting period of July 23 isn't open for the reporting. The error has been there. So let us post the scene. Say OK. Cancel the scene. Search again. In the process right now, but wait for a while. You can go and view the through schedule process. Let me check. Is there any issues with that? Going to the general accounting dashboard. Manage journals. Search again. Okay. You don't have right access to the reporting currency in BISP INR for the access to this report. Just hold on. Data access. Read and write is there. System has generated, yes. So I have created a one ledger set. You can see the group of the ledgers, the GL group data access set, where I have grouped that to both the ledgers, that is BISP and ledger and US ledger, and the value is all, and privileges I got the read and write, right? So that is the, I'm not getting why. So you can group that particular ledger with INR ledger. So you can provide the same using this. So data access set, you can create another data access set. I will consolidate data access set. I will give a name as consolidated data access set or consolidated ledger set, or you can say ledger set, manage data, that is the ledger set. Ledger set, search with that, ledger set, there we are. So I will create a one ledger set, that is consolidated group ledger set, BISP group ledger set, right? So I can create a BISP group ledger set and I will group my BISP global and the calendar as BISP global, and I will add as INR, and then I will add reporting, right? So that both the things can be grouped together and provide that ledger set to the user, right? So that is how we can create, and you should have a same chart of accounts and accounting currency should be the same, right? So that is, you can do you can create a consolidated ledger on that basis, right? So this way you can create a consolidated ledger by grouping the ledger of reporting plus my Indian currency ledger, right? So that is, you can create that. Why the error is coming. So we will see whatever the error is there in the next session. So let me wind up with that particular thing. So thank you for joining this webinar. So that is for today. Thanks for joining again this webinar on GL related transaction process in Fusion application. Thank you.